Hi, I'm Bill Varenkamp. I'm Director of Technical Operations for Imaging Spectrum, and here today to show you the new Mitsubishi D90 printer. Just came out, and wow, it's got some great new things that I do want to show you real quick. First of all, if you notice the machine itself, it's dark, it's black. So when you're at an event or in your booth, it helps, hide itself, unlike some of the lighter printers that have been out for a while. Also, if you're used to the K60 or the 70DW from Mitsubishi, this is less, it's not as deep, so it'll again fit in photo booths and other spaces. It's got about 14% less footprint than the K60 or the 70DW. And it does use the same media as the 70DW, so if you already have one of those printers, again, same media, so one media for two printers, which is always a good thing. It does print in about 8 seconds on the 4x6, does two 2x6s. You can use the 6x8 media from the 70 DW, and it'll print two 2x6s, one 4x6, two 4x6s, or a 6x8, all on the same media. Now you do have to be able to go into the driver or your software to be able to change those sizes, but it does give you a lot of options with one media. It does have a rollback feature to be able to do a single 4x6 or two 2x6s. So if you're doing a photo booth session, you do the two 2x6s, it'll roll back and do the other two 2x6s on the other portion of the ribbon. So you're not wasting any ribbon, you're not wasting any paper. Now, just FYI, it does have the option to do one 2x6. However, you will waste half of your ribbon if you do that. So do bear that in mind. Don't just do one 2x6. Go ahead and do the two 2x6s. Although with a 6x8, it can do three 2x6s, and I will show you that later. So anyway, just a quick look at the front of the D90 here, and we'll show you how to load paper in a little bit. But this is going to be a great addition to the Mitsubishi family. By the way, it does weigh about 30 pounds, and it is a little bit taller than some of the other printers. That's because, to save room in the back, they did put the air circulation on the bottom. So just FYI when you see the difference in the printer there. You'll notice on the front of the D90 printer here, it does have a little sticker reminding to empty the shard bin before opening and before transporting too. The shard bin is a little bit deeper, so will hold an entire roll of media. On the side of the printer, got a new way that they're connecting the cable. So it definitely hides the cable flush into the printer. Therefore, when you put it into a box or into a photo booth, you won't have the cable sticking out the back. They'll be safely hidden on the side here, as well as the USB cable on the top here. Also, if you notice, next to the USB input, there's actually a power auxiliary output. And that would be useful if you were saying using one of the Lenovo sticks or something, and because that can actually power a small computer like the Lenovo stick. Also, if you notice this little ledge right here, it also corresponds to this right over here, so it makes it a little easier to lift the printer. So that's always a good feature to have on the printer. And of course, the air input is on the front here. Okay, now that the printer's all loaded and we're ready to go here, we're going to do some prints through darkroom. I do have a photo that I took several years ago up, and we're going to print this out real quick, and we'll do a 4x6 since we do have media in it that'll do single 4x6s. I'm going to go ahead and send one to the printer, and then I'm going to come in here and send a second one. And one of the neat things about this new printer is it does have a image optimization part to it, that it'll look at the photo, especially if it's got a lot of blacks or a lot of darks in it. It'll slow down the print time to make sure it lays down enough of the colors to get a really good deep black. So the first photo I'm going to do is actually going to be a little bit darker, so it's going to take a little bit longer to print than this next one because it's a little bit lighter print. So anyway, so just to let you know that it does do really, really, really high quality photos. And that's important if you're doing portraiture or anything like that with this. Now, obviously that can be turned off if you're doing a photo booth or you don't need some of those extra image optimizations. So This one's almost ready here. There it is. So again, a little bit different print times because a little bit different density on the photos. Now we're going to look at some photos, some photo booth type photos. I'm going to go in and I'm going to set the driver to cut 3 2x6s on this 6x8 media. It's just a simple matter of going into the preferences, setting it for 2x6, and then setting it for 3 copies. And I've got a sample photo here, and this is actually a 4x12 photo booth strip. So when it prints, it's going to cut off a little on the bottom. But so I'm going to go to print here. I'm going to set it for 2x6, and then 3 copies. So again, it's going to print those out, and then it's going to cut each one of them. So that's a neat new feature for the 6x8 ribbon with the printer. So you can hear it printing it, and then again it will cut it here in just a moment. Spit them all out at the same time. And there we go. 3 2x6s. And again, originally this was a longer print, so it does cut off a little bit on the bottom, but just and that's from the aspect ratio of the print, not because of anything the printer did. So again, that's a neat new feature. Also, if you have 5x7 paper in the machine, you can also do 2 3.5x5s, or you can do 1 3.5x5, let it roll back, do the other 3.5x5 on 5x7. And of course, like I was talking about earlier, with the 6x8 media, you could do 1 6x8, or 1 4x6 and then another 4x6, or 1 2x6 and then another two 2x6s, or you can do 2 2x6s and then a 4x6. Again, as long as it matches up to the 4x6, either one of them or 2 of them at a time, it will print those on the 6x8 media. So again, that's nice. You just have to have one media for those different sizes. So definitely something to look at on the new D90 printer. All right, so I did want to show you the driver real quick on the 90D or D90. We're going to be switching from 4x6 to 6x8. It does have an incredible amount of options for paper sizes. Obviously, since you can do 5x7, 3.5x5, 4x6, 2x6, does give you an awful lot of options, which is great. So this is the drop down, and just FYI, the driver does work with 7, 8, 8.1, 10 on the Windows operating system, and it also has drivers for the Mac. So do know it will work on either operating system. And again, all the different options here. So we're going to move it from 4x6 to 6x8, and we'll be ready to print on the 6x8. Just a couple of things real quick I did want to show you. You do have some options here, like if you wanted to do matte photos instead of glossy, you can obviously change that here. You can change the print mode here. Right now it's in auto, so again it's going to evaluate the photo, whether it's fine or ultra fine. Does again on the paper options here, you can do copies. You can also do scaling, but it also has a bleed option. And either way, both of those work similarly. They increase the size of increases the size of the photo just a little bit in case you have a white border on one of the sides. So that's what bleed or scaling does. So just FYI, it does have that option in there, which not all do. And of course, you can go in and do things with the ICC profiles and everything. So anyway, just a quick little overview of the driver for the D90 printer. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to print some 6x8s now. Same media, there's no change there. Got a picture, steampunk photo of my nephew here. So we're just going to print this out real quick. Just going to hit 1, hit print, and again it's going to analyze the photo. Starts printing almost immediately after it's sent. This one's not too dark, so it should print pretty darn quick. The 6x8 prints about 14-15 seconds, so not too bad. There we go. So 6x8 on the D90 with the 6x8 media. And so we've shown you different sizes, different ways to use this printer, some of the new features, and it's one beautiful machine, so definitely have a look at it. Thanks for coming by.